Could you basically take us through the drone and the functionality of the drone? It's a docking station as well that you've brought to Twickenham.
Yeah, absolutely. So I represent DJI Enterprise in the UK and Ireland. DJI is a very big company that specialises in drone technology. We're very much the enterprise arm, which is the work arm of DJI. So it's doing not just putting a camera in the sky for taking photos of your children's holidays. It's about actually doing work.
Yep.
So full range of drones in this case, from the Matrice 400, which is the biggest of the lot, down the whole Matrice series to a drone in a box, which is called the Dock 3 in the UK.
What's the use case of the dock, for instance?
So the dock gives the ability to have complete remote autonomy or remote operations. So you put the drone in a box, you put the box somewhere out there. So we're in the public safety market here for BAPCO.
Yep.
So put on top of a police station, put on a central location in a town where it can be a first responder. And the program that is often talked about is drones as first responder. So 999 call goes out, be it a missing person, be it a car incident. The drone's the first thing to get to the scene, and it can then send live stream data to the people, or the police officers, or the fire and rescue, the ambulance service, as they're travelling to the scene, to give them, what's going on. It enables them triage and gives them complete situational awareness before they've even got there.
As the technology has evolved, which I assume it has,
Yep.
How has the use case for public safety evolved? Because obviously it's primarily, or it has been primarily, situational awareness up until this point.
So the main kind of change in the technology is trying to eke every bit out of the actual aircraft. Dare I say, a quadcopter drone, 4 rotors. It's been around for maybe 10, 15 years.
Yep.
And it's about getting the best picture, the best stream data, but also the ability to operate in different weathers. So all these drones are pretty much IP rated now, whereas 2 years ago they weren't.
Yep.
So they couldn't operate in the rain, they couldn't operate in strong winds.
Yep.
But now they can, which enables not so just the use cases to change, but it means that in the UK, where the weather's notoriously bad, is that they can operate at more times.
Yeah.
The payloads themselves, so while it's a platform, it's about getting something to sense things in the sky, so a CCTV in the sky. The technology for thermal imaging, for zoom cameras, it goes the same way as your 4K TV. And the fact that resolution gets better, the same for the actual cameras.
Yeah.
It enables, for example, if the police are doing a covert activity, they can have more standoffs, so they can be further away, but having more powerful zoom. So it's a combination of all those things, and of course most things are electric as well. So it's battery technology, so eking the most out of the weight. And we're generally up to about an hour's flight time for most of these drones now, which is about the limit of the battery technology.
Yeah. Is it bespoke technology when you're for an emergency services client, for instance, or is it sort of one size fits all?
Not really. The way it works is that DJI offer their customers a wide range of it's a standard platform, but there's usually a wide range of payloads that are specific to industries. So, for example, one of the payloads here is called the H30T. It's like I mentioned, a zoom camera, a thermal camera. Whereas actually that wouldn't be applicable to someone who's doing surveying. They would want a very high pixel count, something that's very accurate, mechanical shutter. So the payloads can be changed for a different industry.
Right. Okay. Cool. And it's primarily the police, or is it fire and rescue? Or?
Absolutely. Fire and rescue as well. They, especially things like tuned thermal sensors, where they can launch one of these drones, find out where the actual hottest spot of the fire is, where they know how to fight it.
Yep.
It's little things like this. It's more situational awareness.
Yeah.
Whereas traditionally they had a thermal camera that they had to put a firefighter in harm's way to use. Well, now you can have the thermal sensor on a drone to the same effect.
And what about the beyond visual line of sight conversations?
Absolutely.
That's the next stage of the
certainly developing. So technologically, all these drones could go 10, 15 kilometres.
Right.
The thing that's stopping us doing that is the regulations.
Yes.
And again, it's not a criticism of the regulations themselves, because they're there to keep people safe. They're there the regulations are always there to make sure that accidents and incidents don't happen. However, the progress that drone industry needs is to go beyond visual line of sight. And what that means is that the pilot is dislocated from the actual drone. So all of these drones can be controlled via a laptop from anywhere in the world, as long as you've got internet connectivity to the drone and the controller.
Yeah.
But from a legal standpoint, you still need to have someone on site to be able to see the drone and make sure that it's not going to interact with any other air users.
Yeah.
So the way that the Civil Aviation Authority are moving forward with this, they've just introduced a framework called SORA, which is around trying to understand what the risk assessment for each individual operation is.
Yeah.
And it's based on two things. It's based on ground risk, so what's the drone flying over?
Yeah.
So the ground risk would be very different somewhere rural compared to somewhere that's built up.
Yeah.
And then the second one is air risk, so what else could it interact with in the air? So if you're flying very close to an airport or busy airspace, that's going to be a high risk, but if you're in the Cairngorms in Scotland, you might expect lower aircraft risk, notwithstanding the military might be flying over there, but it's trying to understand that. So there's mitigations that then could be put in place by manufacturers, such as parachutes to minimise ground risk. So if an accident happens where there's a power failure, the drone's not going to fall into the back of a school and really injure someone.
Yeah.
Or for the air risk, can you put on transponder so it appears like a normal aircraft to another aircraft?
Yes.
So it's these sort of mitigations, and it's all a combination of those that the CAA are looking for.
Yeah. And what's the benefit? Once beyond visual line of sight can be achieved in relation to the regulations, what would be the benefit? It's a fairly obvious question.
Yeah, no,
what would be the benefit?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not really an obvious question, because from a policing and a public safety point of view, it gives the police officers the ability to kind of react further and to expand their bubble. So these drones are often taking the place of scant resource in manned aviation, so police helicopters.
Yeah.
If the drones can go that a little bit further, then the amount of calls that the police helicopters needs can reduce and potentially even disappear altogether.
Yeah.
From a commercial point of view, unlocking beyond visual line of sight just gives all of the use cases to really come into focus. So, for example, if you're using a drone in a box to secure a site, so you want to have a mobile patrol, if that can be controlled by someone remotely who maybe has control of 10 drones, well, it becomes more commercially viable. Yep. If you're having to stick a person on the site to actually kind of look in the sky and be a pilot, well, there needs to be 10 people for those 10 drones. Yes. So it's kind of commercial.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.